Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Room Next Door. And this is from writer-director Almodovar. And this film is his first English language feature film and stars Tilda Swinton and Julianne Moore as friends who were super close in their past and have reconnected at a time where Swinton is dying and makes a decision that will impact her life and pulls her friend more into this situation that is very complex. And you have supporting players like John Turturro, Alessandro Nivola, who come in as well. And this film, first off, is very Almodovar, and it is gorgeous. It is rich in the colors, and whether it's the red lipstick or really capturing the dichotomy of Julianne Moore's red hair versus Tilda Swinton's very blonde hair, or it's the colors, the rich greens and reds that you see a lot in Almodovar films. It's visually, it's all there. It really captures his style and translates well. I think at the core of it, Swinton and Moore give very passionate, engrossing, committed performances that bring a lot of depth to these two characters and depth to their relationship and how far their relationship will go to meet the hopes and the plans of Swinton's character in this situation. This film navigates friendship in a very compelling and complex way. It navigates mortality and life in a very emotive and very affecting way, that it digs deep in a very poetic way into what's the meaning of mortality and death and making meaning of our lives, and are there things that can really enrich in our lives again and bring back a focus of a passion for living on some level. And you have that dynamic explored in such a passionate and very affecting way in this film. I do feel like there's moments where this gets it's like waxing poetic in terms of its language, and Swinton and Moore really deliver on it. They're committed and make us feel those moments. The beautiful use of snow in those elements as well. And this deals with, parenting and connection and the struggle as Swinton has a struggle with her daughter. And there's some clunky elements to this. Like, they go into this whole entire flashback to show, like, what happened with Swinton's character and the father of her child and all of those elements. And it just feels kind of weird, and it doesn't really fit into the rest of the style or elements of the film. But there's something about this film that I think kind of hurts it a bit. And I don't know if it is a struggle with that transition from Spanish to English. But a lot of the dialogue in this film, when it's not really being poetic and rich, because there are moments where it's like, wow, this is really powerful stuff. A lot of just the regular dialogue in this film is so clunky and so obvious, and to the point where it's like somebody much more talented, like Almodovar, shouldn't be writing dialogue so clunky and awkward and plain like this. And it really takes you out of the film, and you can tell sometimes it's Moore and Swinton are really trying to work this dialogue and try to express it in a meaningful way that doesn't come off like you sound like you're watching a couple aliens trying to act like humans. And it kind of reminded me of a little bit of Shyamalan acting and dialogue, where it's just I don't believe I'm in a real situation here. And this really captures that energy and vibe of something just feels off. And you have some characters in here that feel very on the nose in terms of what they're supposed to represent. Like Alessandro Nivola's character, who's a policeman, in the one scene he's in, is just spells out things such in an awkward and in your face direct way. I don't know, like I mentioned, I don't know if it's a translation thing and there's that awkwardness in transitioning this, But at the end of the day, this film just feels like it has some missed opportunities with its script and specifically its dialogue and how it's expressing some of these moments. Because you're going from like these rich, beautiful, emotional scenes with poetic language to like, have these people ever actually interacted with a human being before? And I feel like there's enough here that you can get past that clunkiness. But like, especially towards the very beginning, I'm like, what is this? And some of those interactions just feel so weird and out of place. But this does have some rich themes and beautiful, powerful, impressive, and impactful performances. And at the end of the day, I still think that Almodovar created a really fine, a good film here that is worth your time. But those are my thoughts on The Room Next Door. Let me know what you think and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.